I want at least 5 wins, and I'm just saying that is out loud. I don't care who we're playing. Like I need to see 5 wins. This year has been brutal, man. Like, talking football just in general is like some of the most fun stuff to talk about when you're talking sports. We do this stuff statistically, on the social media, on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. And, generally, football does the biggest numbers. But the Detroit Lions this year, with only a 2-win season, have made it very, very hard to continue to talk football without saying the same exhausting things like, hey, this team needs help. Hey,
Yeah.
this team needs talent. You know what I'm saying? So I need some wins next year, man. I need something to talk about. I need to be excited. The 3 random games we were talking about, I learned yesterday the reason why that happens is those are actually the last place teams in the following divisions. So that's why we play the Jags, the Seahawks, and the Panthers. They're going to finish last in the South and the AFC West and the AFC South or whatever. But those are 3 wins I could see. The Seahawks might actually be without Russell Wilson next year. The Panthers, I'm not completely sold on them. I know they've had some injury issues as well with their starting quarterback, and they don't really know what they got going on there. But the Jags, we just have to beat them, man. They're the Detroit Lions of the AFC. You know what I'm saying? They're also at the bottom of the barrel, and I need that. Another hot topic that we're maybe discussing later is that might have Jim Caldwell at the head coaching position in that game too.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in our next segment, but kind of reeling it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Pete Carroll kind of came out and said that Seattle they kind of took what Brad Holmes and company said last year. They need a retool, not necessarily a rebuild. I think what they've seen for rebuild for fan bases, that doesn't really bode over too well. Mm-hmm. And retool seems to be that name, but
it's just sexier.
Seattle needs a lot of help, and for them, they're kind of doing it without a first round draft pick. Like, they should be picking up inside the top 10, but they traded for Jamal Adams from the New York Jets, and the New York Jets have their first round draft pick now. So
11-6, the Washington football team fan says. What are they 11-6? Are they talking about the Lions jumping 11-6?
I mean, that would be a bold prediction, I think, for any of either the Washington football team or the Detroit Lions.
What dispensary are they visiting? Yeah. Can we get them as a sponsor? That's crazy. 11. I just see 5 for sure. I see Seattle as winnable, Jacksonville winnable, New York Giants winnable, the Washington football team winnable, and then the Jets winnable.
What about the Chicago Bears?
Dude, I'm super biased when it comes to that. I hate the Bears more than I'm just going to have to refrain myself from saying swear words. Ever since the Calvin Johnson no catch, it's F the Bears for life.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm setting the win mark at 6. You got to get at least 6 wins next year. You're looking like you get 2 wins this year, and you should add a few pieces. You should add a top tier draft pick. You have another first round draft pick that should be able to come in and contribute right away too. And a lot of these games they already lost this year were within a 1-score game. Like, they had their opportunities. And I know I touched on it yesterday in the show. Like, you could have won a few of these games that didn't swing your way. You could have won the Baltimore game. Like, you could have honestly been at that 6-win mark this year, had a few plays change for your favor. So for me, just looking at that schedule now, it's definitely not easy with the Buffalo Bills, and you've seen what the Patriots have done on the defensive side of the ball. Mac Jones seems to be fitting into that system perfectly, like Bill Belichick and a lot of people thought would happen. So I don't like seeing that, but I always feel like the Lions, for the most part, besides maybe the Cowboys, have matched up pretty well against the NFC East. We've seen at times they beat the Eagles. We've seen them beat the Washington football team. We've seen them beat the Giants. The Giants and a lot of these teams have question marks that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show. So I can't be satisfied with anything less than 6. I think the morning show touched on it this morning. They talked about Jim Schwartz's first few years here, and he came in, was the head coach during Matt Stafford's rookie season. I think they had 2 wins his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. The following year, I believe he took it to 4 wins, and then by the third season, he took it to 10-6, and had you in a wild card spot. So I think realistically, Jared Goff has proven that he can win football games at least later down the stretch this year. We've seen him win football games in LA, so I don't see him going anywhere. So you have to expect that having a healthy team around him and a healthy offensive line, a healthy Swift, a healthy Hawk, Like, this should be a team that I think should compete pretty regularly next year.
You know how our guy Big Cat has a pinky team every year? If they win the Super Bowl, he'll chop that pinky off. Is there a pinky team you'd pick out of this list that we'll for sure beat? And stay out of the NFC North. Let's make it fun.
I'm with Alex on that one. Giants.
The Giants?
Yeah.
So Alex, if the Giants beat the Detroit Lions, you cut off your pinky? Would you be willing to make that bet?
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
Just a tip? Yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it.
All right, you guys are. Hey, I'm cutting that clip, and it's cementing itself into social media. Now, everyone on YouTube too. I want you guys to remember that too. The Detroit Lions lose the New York Giants.
No, who's your team?
Oh man, I didn't want to cut my pinky. I want to cut your guys' pinkies off, not mine.
You're the one who brought the topic to the table, brother.
For sure. If I'm picking one, like you said, there's a lot of determining factors that we don't even know yet. We don't know who's gonna be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna say Bears because we have 2 shots of beating them.
Well, that's fair. The one team I would not say are the Panthers. All the Panthers really need is a quarterback and for CMC to stay healthy to at least give themselves a shot at the playoffs. So I'm glad you didn't say that one for your own sake. But
well, you didn't give us one.
I went with the Giants.
Okay.
So I'm riding with Alex's coattails there. So if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button for Easy and I. We like our jobs here, and we want to be able to do this more often for you.
Smash that like
button. And if you're listening on the radio, or if you're in your car, or you got
You've reached the end of the video. You know what you should do? Press like. You know you like the content that we have here at Woodward Sports Network. I'm Braylon Edwards from the bottom line. Subscribe to us right now.